Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of A Point of View with Therapists in Tech. And today, I'm Jacqueline. I'm the Executive Director of Therapists in Tech, and my very first guest is Dr. Carrie Champ Morera, and I'll let her introduce herself. Welcome.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I'm really excited to be here today and very honored to be your first guest on this podcast. My name is Dr. Carrie Champ Morera. I'm the Director of Content and Production in the R&D department at Psychological Assessment Resources. My background is psychology. I have a doctorate in school psychology.
Okay. Well, let's jump right into this. The purpose of this podcast is to educate our audience, mostly people who want to pivot into other roles. And let's just jump right into it. Tell us how you got here. How did you get this job? Just give us the deets.
Yeah, great. So I'll explain a little bit about Psychological Assessment Resources, who I work for, first of all, just to give some background. They're the leading publisher of assessments. We have over 200 products in 6 different areas: school, clinical, neuropsychology, forensic, career, and talent. Some of the customer types include school districts, colleges, hospitals, healthcare agencies, government agencies, and even mental health practitioners that are in private practice. So in my role as director, I report directly to the vice president and chief product officer. We have about 20 people in our R&D department and over 100 employees in the company. If I had to summarize my current role in one sentence, it would be helping people by leading and managing the process of developing and improving psychological assessment products, also working with cross-functional teams to make sure that our products meet the needs and expectations of our customers. And what I can also share is that the teams that I'm responsible for include content and production, which consists of project directors, research assistants, managing production editor, and also a variety of vendors, including designers, UX UI, staff, and editors. And I also work closely with other teams in the organization, including sales, marketing, and IT. So I hope that provides just a little bit of background first before I jump into how I found the job.
Yeah, thank you for explaining all of that. Very interesting to hear all of the different departments that you collaborate with. Tell us a little bit about how that's been feeling for you.
I mean, it's been so wonderful to be in a role where I'm able to collaborate and work with others. And so it's a lot different than my traditional path that I had taken. So if I back up a little bit, I've had numerous roles over the years in a variety of different settings and had the opportunity to earn various licenses and credentials in the mental health field along the way. I started out as a mental health worker, working in the schools and doing skills groups and behavioral observations. Then as my training progressed, I became a certified school psychologist and worked in the public schools for a couple of years. Then I moved on to working at a private residential school as a school psychologist. And while I was there, I eventually moved into a manager position and provided oversight to an assessment team and worked in that capacity for about 10 years. And along the way, I did a lot of independent contract work for various mental health agencies. So and then how I made the transition to the next part of my career is one of my passions is psychological assessment. And so I had been a user of PAR's assessment products for many, many years. And so one day I just stumbled upon a job posting on the company's website, and that's how I found out about it. And then I applied.
Wow. So just stumbled upon it. So did you just take a chance to I really like using these assessments. I like their product. And so I'm going to try to work here.
Yeah. So I thought for me, it was a big chance that I took. The position was located in Florida and I was in Pennsylvania. And so this was about 4 years ago. So I thought, wow, if I were to get this position, I would have to up and move my entire family to Florida, because at that point We did not have any the remote positions were limited. So it was, I needed to be there in person, so I would have to move. So that was a big thing to think about. The other part, while I've been so excited about using the products and wanted to be on the other end, I was a bit nervous because I had never worked for a test development company before. And I was wondering, wow, do I really have all of the skills and what it takes to be successful in this role? So I took a chance and I was thoughtful about it in my approach. I really spent time tailoring my cover letter to indicate the skills that I had and why I thought that I would be a good fit for the company, and talked a little bit about how I spent a lot of time as a consumer of these products over the years, and I had a lot of knowledge, and that I thought I would be able to apply that knowledge that I had learned over the years into the development of psychological assessment. So I took a chance and sent my cover letter and resume in.
Nice, nice. Let's talk about those transferable skills. Like, what skills are the top three skills that you think that a psychologist that was working in a school would have to apply for
Mm-hmm.
this position?
Yeah. So I think there's really three skills that people in the mental health field would need to really do this job well. The first one is communication and relationship building. And certainly those of us working in the mental health field, that's a specialty that we have. And it's so important. You know, we're able to take those skills and transfer them to other positions and use them to build trust and rapport. We have a history of doing that with our clients. And so now we're able to do that with those in other industries and working with other professionals and in building those relationships with stakeholders and other users in the digital technology field. The second skill set that I think is really important is research, data analysis, and writing skills, some level of those and some knowledge in that area. So as mental health therapists, we're trained to conduct research, analyze data, write different types of reports depending what our area of specialty is. All of these skills can really be useful when we are working in a company that, for example, produces digital products and services, and other companies that are used to promote mental health. So you can really just take those skills and move them over. The third area that I would say would be experience in working in a hybrid or a remote setting now, especially since the pandemic. We're seeing more and more companies utilize remote workers, and you don't always need to be in person anymore. So companies are more open to that transition. And so, there's certainly some challenges that you can experience with working with remote teams and in that hybrid situation. But if you as a therapist have had some of those experiences, for example, doing telehealth therapy or remote assessments, or just communicating with clients and doing feedback meetings on Zoom, for example, those skills will really be able to be transferable to a digital tech or digital health organization.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because my next question was going to be about technology, and in what ways can you describe that technology is helping you reach the target population, or how are you using technology every day in your role?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the use of technology just continues to increase every year, as we're seeing, especially since the pandemic. I think that's really sped things up for a lot of ways. One of the things that we have at PAR is an assessment platform that is digital called PIC, our PAR Connect platform. And that allows mental health clinicians to be able to administer and score different types of assessments and run all different types of reports from wherever they're at. So that has been a big plus. We also have something called a digital library, which houses a lot of our assessment manuals and some of our stimulus books. So mental health professionals can use those on the go to help reach their customers. We've also been designing some assessment products for use in remote assessment. So that way clinicians don't need to be face-to-face in person when they're doing some assessments. And then also on the scholarly marketing side, we have done a lot with webinars. We have a PAR Talks platform that we use, and we do a handful of webinars every month. And we've really been able to reach the mental health field and psychologists. And we've been able to provide a lot of topics, not only on assessments that we produce, but areas of interest to clinicians. So in terms of what are some of the best practices in the field, we're able to share a lot of that information. And another example would be how to provide feedback to your clients that you're working with. And we have just seen the webinar attendance really dramatically rise over the past couple years. People are looking for ways to be educated so they can not only learn to help themselves, but what they can do to help their clients as well.
Yeah, very good stuff. Next question is, do you have a mentor in this space? And what are your thoughts on that? Like people that are interested in coming into this space, new to this space, like did you have a mentor when you first got in, or what are your thoughts on that?
With this specific space, I did not have a mentor. I've had a lot of mentors along the way throughout my career as I've continued to progress. But I have the opportunity to mentor a few people right now and helping them to try to enter this space. I've had a few people reach out to me that are feeling burnt out in their current roles and are looking for other ways to apply some of the skills that they've gained along the way. And so, I'm working with them on how they can take that chance and step out of their comfort zone and explore something new.
Oh, that's very exciting. I'm very happy that you're able to do that because we have so many community members that are feeling the same thing. They're feeling burnt out. They want to change, right? I mean, we go to school, we think that we're going to work in a particular environment for the rest of our lives, and then we tend to find other things that we are interested in. So I'm very happy that you're able to share that knowledge with people who are interested in working in this type of environment.
Yeah, great. And that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to help out and do this podcast, just to share some of that background knowledge and some of my experiences, hoping that I can encourage and inspire others to try something new.
Yeah, like another question I wanted to kind of go back to with the transferable skills. Are there any skills or any books or any readings that folk can lean on in this time, like right now, to like prepare for, or even just learn more about working in this type of industry?
Yeah, so definitely. I think that networking is really important. So finding people out there that have a job that looks interesting to you, or that maybe, hey, this may be my next career move. I think that's really huge. And so you can even start by networking on LinkedIn and reaching out to people. That can be an opportunity to get into the field. There's lots of people out there willing to talk and share that knowledge. I also think that there's opportunities for people out there to look for different groups that may be of interest to them. So if there's any LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups that have an area that they're interested in, they can join those and ask specific questions, see what others in the fields are learning and doing. There's definitely, you can search for, there's LinkedIn courses that you can do that apply to some of these roles. Yeah, I mean, really, it's just, talking with others, I think that are in the field, is a great first step. And sometimes those people then may remember you. And if an opportunity comes up, they could possibly reach back out and give you that chance.
Yep, the power of networking. It's like you said, we have a skill that we've been taught to use with clients that we could be using for networking, and I think that we need to lean into that. I'm so happy that you mentioned that. One
Hmm.
question that I have is, what has surprised you most about this transition that you've made, or like what's brought you more joy doing this kind of work as opposed to working direct, like doing direct service?
Hmm. So, with the part of what has surprised me, I didn't realize how much I really knew about psychology and mental health until I was in an organization working with so many other individuals who were not psychologists and who had a different set of skills. And it just made me realize how much I had learned over the years and how much I was really able to offer others. So that was really most surprising to me. And then in terms of the other part about what was it, the excitement, or what I look forward to, I am able to be creative and use many of my skills, talents, and abilities on a daily basis to help so many people. And that's just really, really exciting to me. I feel like every day is something new. And I'm with creating products and overseeing that process, I'm able to apply a lot of creativity and have that ability to think outside of the box. And so with this position, I also feel like I'm able to reach a lot of clients and help a wider group of people, as opposed to being in that one-on-one situation as the clinician with your client and helping them, where you're making a smaller impact. That's important too, and those skills and jobs are still needed and very much important, and I enjoyed that so much. I'm just really excited now about having the opportunity to use a lot of that creative energy that I've had stored up for so long.
That's so exciting. One other question that we get a lot, and we do have a pay equity channel in Therapists in Tech, our Slack group. I always make room for people to talk about either their salary or be transparent about negotiation skills or to talk about what people should expect. You know, a lot of us are coming from community mental health, academia, and the
Mm-hmm.
salaries are very different. And sometimes people don't know what to ask for or things to read. Do you have any tips on that?
Yes, I do. So I've been in the mental health field in a variety of roles now, gosh, for over 15 years. And, just in terms of salary and what to expect, I mean, I can say that from when I started to where I am now, my salary hasn't increased over 5 times. So that's the thing, though. If you're stagnant in your pay and your pay has not increased in a couple of years, then I think it's worth you asking for a raise or looking into other opportunities. A few things I want to add, though, is it's more than just salary. So when you're offered a salary, you also want to look at things like the company culture. Is it going to be a good fit for you and make you happy? Is it going to be a place where you're excited to go to work every day? Because you want that. If you're going to be making, I don't know, $200,000, but you're miserable going to work every day. Is that really going to be worth it? Probably not. Your mental health may suffer. Your relationships may suffer. You also want to look at that work-life balance as well. Some organizations where you're paid salary, okay, it's going to be about 40 hours a week, whereas another company may expect you to do 60 or 80 hours a week. And so, that's going to really look different because time is money. You
That's
also want to look at healthcare benefits that are provided
yes.
as well, and in terms of what you would have to pay out into that as well, even if your company is supporting that. It's also important to look at other perks that a company may have, like would they reimburse, gym memberships or other wellness programs. The cost of that, if you're paying for that by yourself, could add up quickly. You also want to look at, is there a type of a 401k, or can you get equity in the company if you have a certain position? And then along with that, looking at, do they have a tuition reimbursement or reimbursement for other types of training that you may want to gain along the way? And then finally, looking at, is it a remote, hybrid, or in-person situation? That could make a difference as well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those.
Mm-hmm.
This has been great. The floor is yours. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to people who are interested? Maybe where can they find you? Any last words?
Mm-hmm. Great. So just to follow up on the salary piece a little bit more, to get to the second part of your question that you had asked a little bit earlier about, how they could find out about salaries. So I think when you're looking at different positions, it's a good idea to see what other people in similar positions are making in the field. And so one of the ways you could do that is if you're involved in a professional organization, you can go to that organization's website. A lot of times they may do surveys about what people make with different position titles. And so they can do some research out there. But it's important to remember too that it varies so much in our field. And so you also really need to be an advocate, and don't settle if you feel that you should be worth more.
Yeah, I love to hear that. Thank you so much for joining us, Carrie. This was amazing.
Great.
First
I
guest on the
appreciate being here.
podcast.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And I'm available on LinkedIn if anyone wants to reach out and connect with me there.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.